I take it or leave it out? You got me thinking now, and I'm stuck in this loop again. You got me thinking now, should I take it or leave it out? What would happen if I talk to you? Got a feeling that I get a blue.
Come in, I could seat you by the fire. Listen, listen, there's something I must confide. I know I said that it'd be fine. I know I made it look like it'd be alright, but I think I learned my lesson, and I'm not gonna let you out of my sight. You can call me killer, 'cause I'll bring you to the light. And it might taste bitter when you're answering to God. You can call me killer as you look into
Hello, 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 and welcome. Ooh. Make sure I'm muted, that helps. Hello and welcome everybody, welcome back after a bit of a hiatus. Hi El Sarge, let me know if the music is too loud because it's been a while since I've played around with this. So, unfortunately I have been out for about a week with illness, so which was affecting my voice. So when I get colds, they do tend to affect my voice a lot, so it makes it hard for me to do things like my job and do this and be here with you guys. Yes, I am feeling much better. Well, much better than I was. I'm still a bit croaky and things like that, but what can you do? But, I missed you guys too. We are back though with another town build. We are jumping into Fairy Cross, which is in the Sweetfields. If I bring up the world map again, we are in Vardamine, which is on the right-hand side of that map. In that little candy-coloured, just on the edge of that candy-coloured hill set there. So that's where we're building today, because unfortunately it did mean that it also pushed back the start of the campaign until this Saturday. Hi Rosewood, how are you? For everyone who doesn't know, Rosewood is actually going to be in this campaign playing the wonderful Titanborn Aasimar gunslinger called Crisis. So I am very excited. I have been working on some things for their story, and I hope that you're going to like their story, because Crisis has been around for a while, or parts of Crisis have been around for a while, so I cannot wait. Okay, so I have to have a bit of a think about this because this is going to be interesting, because color-wise we're going to be all over the place. Yes, gunslinger. I think Crisis has been through several different iterations. In the 2 months it's taken us to set up the campaign, I believe he started as a Paragon from the Corpus Angelus. Then there was a brief period where we thought maybe he might be a Paladin before finally settling on the Gunslinger. So, yes, having a Gunslinger is going to be fun for the party. That's all I can say. Now, this is supposed to be a hilly area, so we might add some hills in first. But not just any hills. I'm going to have to recolor some of these, I think. This will be on level 1. There is every possibility that that may happen yet. You say they don't mesh, but I have a plan. But Crisis has a long history in the world. Just making quick notes so that I can actually remain consistent with the colours of the hills and stuff. I wouldn't count it out yet, because only the DM knows what's inside my head for you guys. Ha ha ha. Well, I mean, I don't know, Rosewood, how much do you want to tell them about Crisis's history? Because obviously I'm happy to talk today about the history of the world and how it pertains to Crisis. Because, yes, Crisis does have a very long history in the world. No, do I want to go small, even smaller than that maybe? Yeah, Crisis has. Definitely. But yes, it depends on how much you want to keep secret for the campaign so that people can, you know, discover who you are along with it. It's up to you. If I mute myself suddenly, it's because I have to cough. I'm feeling much better than I was, but I'm still not 100%, unfortunately. Thanks, Elsarge. Well, you're welcome to come back. I'll be here for about 2 hours today, so we will have a longer... No, not Wrangle Kids. The kids are at school. Yeah, we've got about 2 hours today, but we will have a longer stream on Wednesday night. So, because there is no Grung Gang on Wednesday night. Looking. There's something I'm looking for. I hate to tell you this, Rosewood, and I know that you've known my children since they were little. The boy that you knew is 7 this year. He's in like grade 1. Yeah. So Rosewood, I've known Rosewood for a very long time. These are more of the ones I think I want. it's very interesting because we're going to be we're starting the campaign in Feyawyr, which is essentially the Feywild. So there is going to be things there that the party won't be anticipating, definitely. Because there is obviously great threats going on, big threats and things like this. So, which of course, we have had many discussions on what they are. But I have been told, at least from some perspectives, the Witch Queens of Anthalamir, the material plane, seem to be the biggest threat. And I think that that's a very interesting theory. Very interesting theory. Do I think that's the truth? Well, they're just going to have to wait and find out, aren't they? I think I might. I mean, the Queens are, as I said over the weekend in their group post, the Queens are a problem. But don't for a second think they're the problem. Definitely a problem. But I've had some fun over the last few days looking over some of the Kickstarters that I've supported over time to gain inspiration over what the hell I'm doing for this story. Hi, Indigenous Loaf. Ah, I can see that you're a bot. Love that. Just quickly blocking them. There we go. We love it when bots come in. Yes, I like the fact that, Rosewood, that you're sticking to the fact that the Queens are icky. We'll see. Yes. We'll just wait and see. You might change your mind. So Fairy Cross is I call it a material run town. So it was built and run by refugees who emigrated from the material plane. So they originally came from Anthalamir, and many of them were just seeking freedom from the oppressive tyrant queens, as they call them, the witch queens. And there is a small level of planar travel between the mirror planes of this place. But not a lot. It's heavily regulated. Because obviously, Feyawyr does not want the Witch Queen's influence in their territories. I say the Fey Queens. It's not just Fey Queens. The Autumn and the Spring Courts are actually run by Fey Kings. So, Vardamir is in the... Vardamir encompasses both the Court of Flowers and the Court of Lightning in the Spring Court. It is run by... I do have notes somewhere of the name of the Spring King. Just pulling it up so I can have a look. So the Rising King, Durage the Green Lord, runs the Spring Court. But Vardamir is under the territory of one of their lords, lady or laird. And Vardamir is under the hand of Kani, the soft lady. And she has a lot to do with the Herengon, the rabbit folk of the place, which of course, in my atypical over-the-top fashion, the Herengon aren't just necessarily the Watsy version. We've also added some additional sub-races of that. We also, while we're doing this here, we'll also go I might want to brighten you up a bit. So yeah, so that's kind of what's going on with that. What size are you? 50, so we'll bring you down a little bit. Bring it up straight to 150. I don't like the shadow. Apparently they're not casting shadow, which we can clearly see that they are. But it is worse if I layer it. Okay.
Sink down and emotions feel like I never did before. Life shows him spoken reels of the movie
I have a lot of fun with the candy hills.
broken sea and I'm stuck up on the shore. I never thought you could see me, but you did. All I know is we're here, that they took us somewhere. So what they say we're called is falling out of line. They don't know the two of us are colorblind. Yeah.
I get to have a lot of fun with the candy coloured, and I've been really looking forward to doing this part. Do I think that they will go to Fairy Cross? Not necessarily, but the way I tend to do my world builds is I start at the town that they are going to first for obvious reasons, and then I kind of like start spanning out from there. I did briefly think for a little while that I might do it in alphabetical order, just so we get a lot of variety. But then I realized that was counterintuitive because we're not far enough into the campaign for me to be able to pull that off easily. I'm very excited for this Saturday when I get to launch the campaign for you guys. I do actually have some teaser trailers for the characters that I do want to post at some point if anyone is interested in seeing them. Just to kind of give people a bit of a taste of what the players, like the characters, are like. Which I hope I'm going to be able to share with everyone soon. I'm just waiting on some final artwork from our resident artist who has been working on all of the character concepts and talk sprites and things like this for the campaign. Let's see if we have... Nice big hill composites. We'll blend this a bit better. I love that blend, and if I could get that to work so it's not, I might have to move, because if I can get that beautiful blend, there we go, but it does mean that I'm going to have to move this whole section, because otherwise there's no path. Through the hills here. What other hills have we got to work with? Only really big ones. We don't necessarily want that. So basically, yeah, a lot of my time is just spent messing around with things to make sure that they look good. Might be too much. Okay, so we have some of this going on. I think part of this is going to be helped by some of these textures. Now I know there is a hilly texture. The question is just finding it. It's like this one. Gonna have to mess around in the settings, I think. Because I want it to be very hilly. And we're gonna start off, I think, with the blue. And there will be some green as well. Make sure it's on the foreground, so let's have a look, shall we? Does it even have to be bigger, do we think? It helps if I turn the background off so I can actually get a better view. I think it might need to be bigger. But that's as big as it gets. It only gets as big as 500. See, need to figure out the colours here. Do I like that, or do I want to go something a bit more? Maybe I could do that. And this is the thing, I will have green in here because there are some things, obviously, with green. The question is, do I like this grass texture? Which I'm not sure I do. The hills don't look right either. Do we just go? I don't mind that grass texture. And if we also try this in the pink, maybe? See, that's way too fluorescent. We'll bring it down more to a candy pink, I think. We'll do a save. We'll go a bigger brush. Just put down some blocks of colour and we can blend it all later. Because everything in this area is very edible. Big streak of... Should I just keep it to the pink, green and blue? Might also do some of the blue. Alter this a little bit as well. Because that's just a little too... Still want there to be that blueness there though, because we don't want it to be mistaken for snow. So yeah, do we just keep it to the... Problem is that none of the areas of the blue are...
I cannot
evil one. How are you? I don't like those. How are you, evil one? Just trying to figure out how I'm going to do the hills in this area. Oh, that's not true. Unfortunately existing. Well, we are always happy that you are here. I do believe that Rosewood is lurking somewhere. Watching me make this Technicolor dreamscape of candy. So yes, I'm in a bit of a pickle trying to figure out how I'm going to do hills. Because these hills are like very stark. I suppose. I do it as big pieces, maybe. Okay.
There's a distance between us. take me down, but I'll stay till the finish line. And I've been counting minutes for quite some time now, just to see you again. And I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been finding ways to get away, to see you again, see you again. We got millions of reasons to let it all go. Hope we're not too broken. I know I'm not always strong. And I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been finding ways to get away, to see you again, see you again.
Blend these a bit better. a little bit of a better blend on here. Nice transition blend. Which, if that's the case, then we'll go make these all, I think, like the rest of the area, so it's not as harsh. Okay, let's have a look, shall we? Okay, that's good. I like that. What do we think, people? Okay. So now on top of that, we need to find something, a road that looks appropriately chocolatey. Should we go milk or dark chocolate? And under no uncertain terms, despite what anyone asks, I'm not doing a white chocolate road. Or should I make it look more like a chocolate brick? Like a chocolate cobble.
Up all night by myself, trying to figure ways to you. Your voice stuck in my brain, we never got to see it through. And I know I feel more pain if we're speaking truth. Cause when the daylight comes, I still lose. So will I feel it again? I just don't know.
Should we do it a chocolate cobble in the actual town? Might make it smaller even. Like, what do we think of this? And this is why I asked milk or dark.
Looking back at our time, hoping that we did it right. And give me any reason to call you up late at night. And we know it's for the best, I won't put up a fight. Cause when the daylight comes,
What are other things we could make the roads out of? The lined streets of... a kind of modern city, but most of the stuff that it's made of is food. What are other options we could use?
Took a swing at a wrecking ball and I prayed for my downfall and I found a way to reconcile. Cause in my heart it's not worthwhile. It's a bloody battlefield where some go down, others heal. In the end it's all the same. All you can do is play the game. Oh, do we say goodbye? Refuse to question.
There's going to be a lot of recoloring on this one to make it look more food-like. I like making it really big so I can initially colour it. think I want more. Trying to think of what colour gingerbread is. I'll bring the saturation right up. It's very orange at the moment. Yeah, too far blue. Bring the brown. Does that look kind of gingerbready? Look vaguely cookie-ish. Okay. Hi, Tyrant Dungeon. I am feeling much better than I was. How are you doing? Been trying to figure out a good colour for gingerbread. It's interesting. It's somewhere in between at the moment. Better than it was. Much better than it was. Yeah, trying to figure out a good cookie colour. As I said earlier, this is Fairy Cross. Do I think you will go here? Probably not. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah, no, that's okay. Look away. You can join Rosewood and Evil One. I believe they are also lurking. Maybe. Desert gatehouses. Kind of looking for some fortified buildings. But I don't think the desert pack per se has fortified buildings. Mess around with the filters. Why don't we work with the same stipulations that we have on the sandstone buildings to try and make it look like cookies, I guess. Something like that. Brings out the cookie, but then it's way too green. I don't like how green it got. Let's start with this then. Same thing, but more neutral roofs. It's a little too orange. Bring the saturation down a little, and I think this could work. This is not really a walled city, so the need for massive fortifications, walls. I did consider putting a wall on this. The question is, should I put a wall around this city or not? What are our thoughts? Hi, Tide Runner. doing a quick save for you. Thank you for redeeming the save. I am feeling much better than I was. Yeah, well, my voice was a bit rough this week, the last week been, so what I will say this illness break has been good for is I did get a lot of sleep. I did manage to get an extension. So, all good. Because one of the things about being an audiobook narrator, if you can't speak, you can't do the job. So, most of the time, authors do tend to be pretty understanding. I think it was very, very interesting. I've got a lot of fairy stuff already, but I don't know if it would really pertain to what I'm planning on doing. And I try not to get... I mean, I know backer kits do take a while to come out, but I try not to get things that I don't know if I'll necessarily use. But it did look very interesting. Just in the process of making some gingerbread based walls and stuff. I've got a lot of creature compendiums. I can say that with a lot of confidence at the moment. I have been actually pretty fortunate. Yeah, this will be the next closest town. So this is Fairy Cross. I honestly don't know if you will go here, whether or not you'll stop here, because honestly, I never know with my parties. I never know what you guys are going to do. Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see, I guess. I mean, the biggest thing is I at least know how I'm starting the campaign. I have started to formulate a plan for the plot, for good or evil. We shall see. But yeah, for me, it's been very fascinating watching you guys as players build your characters. And the way that the characters have been built very specific. In a lot of ways, they seem some of the characters seem built very specific for purpose. So it's very interesting to have the conversations with the players on what they deem to think is the biggest threats. By the information that has been given to you thus far. So it is very interesting. It's interesting for me to see what parts the players will have focused on as points of interest as they think what they think they're going to need. Yeah, we already know what Rosewood is focusing on. I'm already starting to see some potential inter-party conflicts, which is interesting to see where they are and how certain characters, depending on how they're played, will bounce off of each other. And I'm kind of looking forward to it. Oh, yes. Of which I can't say too much because obviously... obviously I can't say too much on that because that will all come into play as characters. You guys discover more about each other as characters. Okay, so I already know that I'm going to have to change that walling. Yes, there have been some very interesting juxtapositions that I have managed to filter together and figure out motivations and things like this, having a look at everyone's character questionnaires and whatnot. So looking at all of that kind of stuff, I'm very interested to see where some character stories are going to go. One thing I think is interesting, I think there are going to be some characters who end up getting themselves into more trouble than they had originally anticipated, I think. Getting there slowly, Elsage. We have this so far. Technicoloured Wonderland, basically. Because this particular area of the town, most of it is edible. Well, made of edible materials, I suppose. I definitely wouldn't go munching on any walls or anything. Yes, consumable building materials, as in this part of the Spring Kingdom is known as the Sweet Hills. So everything in this place, in this particular area of the world, is atypically edible. So even some of the species that live here. So we have a gummy species, we have an ice cream species. So yes. It was something I've wanted to do for a little while, at least in this part of my world, just because I really liked, as a kid, I really enjoyed the Magic Faraway Tree. And there was one particular world in that book well, that's exactly it. What do they consume? And that is, a lot of the plants and things around here are made of edible material. Like the wood, for example, just taking an example, is like made of barley sugar and gingerbread. And there is a level of, I suppose, magicness to it to prevent it like disintegrating when it rains and things like this. But yeah, things are like, mortar is like frosting or royal icing and things like that. So, and that there are a lot of edible plants. Lot of edible plants. And a lot of the beasts around this area are also, I mean, I suppose meat is already edible, but no, there are a lot of creatures around this area that are also made of confectionery and snacks, basically. Not so much, but if they do consume too much from this area, they can suffer withdrawal when they leave. I mean, I don't really want to have to think. I already think way too hard about how things work in my world. So the idea that there is potentially diabetes in the world, there probably is. But I haven't been thinking too hard about that, let's be honest. So the night captains are basically the people that run the town in the place of the local lord, lady or laird. And so the lord, lady and lairds of the area that support the Spring King, basically, they have knights and knaves, basically, who make sure that their rule is at least followed. They are fairly tolerant because they understand that people who have emigrated and towns that are traditionally built by people from Anthalomere, the material plane, they do understand they have their own ways of doing things, although they can find them strange. One second, I'm sorry about this.
Atoms fall apart. Solar flares arrive. Buildings collapse. Only a few will survive. The world as we know it will no longer be there. Water is gone. A new era has begun. Prepare yourself for the apocalypse.
Sorry about that. Business phone calls, unfortunately. So, normally I have my phone on silent, but these things happen. So, but yeah, so we've been working on this town, and a lot of the animals in the area are also made of foodstuffs. As I was saying to Tide Runner just before, like with the Kickstarters, I've actually got a lot of Kickstarters to do with, unsurprisingly, given the fact that a lot of my tavern menus are very over the top and things like this, how could I not put a part of the world that is almost entirely consumable? And I did spend some time when I wasn't feeling as at like the absolute hot mess that I was feeling. I did manage to get a lot of the, like lots of little bits and pieces of world building done. Like there is a fantasy takeaway chain in my world called Owlies, obviously based on owlbears. So I did make up a menu for that. And I had a lot of fun building that one, trying to figure out what I was going to put on the menu. Because I kind of went, I don't want to put too many fantasy, like, and I know a lot of, sometimes with this kind of stuff, there are a lot of fantasy meats and stuff that people use, like dragon meat and unicorn meat and stuff like this. And I very specifically kind of wanted to actually avoid this because I've already established within my world that there are things like chickens and pigs. So, you know, pork and beef and chicken and stuff is already available as edible meats. Not only that, part of me does kind of draw a line at using very intelligent sentient creatures as food. So, for example, dragons are extremely intelligent. So the idea of hunting them down as a food source kind of seemed inherently evil, I guess. So I decided I didn't want to do something like that. However, the one exception I did make was Hydra meat, because it seemed like a really sustainable food source. However, it has meant that I have had to take into consideration the possibility of the ethicalness of it. Keeping a creature alive while simultaneously lopping off its heads does seem a little barbaric. So yeah, they're just some little world building thoughts that I kind of have when I'm building a place. Because then as I start to build industries and figuring out what I'm actually going to be doing in terms of, figuring out what I'm doing in terms of the industries in certain towns and things like this, I actually do a lot of research into, because this is just the level of nerdiness I get to it, I actually end up researching a lot of businesses and industries and things like this because I want to inherently understand how they operate and work and things like this, because it is amazing the little things that just, like, I don't necessarily always want there to be a level of hyper realism to it. Like, there does have to be a point where, you know, suspended disbelief and all this kind of stuff. But the reality is, you know, I like knowing how the industries work because you never know when that random little piece of information can end up being quite a poignant piece of information if somebody wants to follow through on certain actions and things like this. Like, for example, Tide Runner, in our previous campaign, he fed his familiar a potion of fire breathing, and they were in a very snowy area, which was a mining area. And he set the hills on fire, which of course created a whole heap of slush and things like this. Created a whole heap of slush and whatnot. And then he sent his owl into the mines. But even today, like I don't know if this is a well-known fact or a little-known fact about mining, but they do actually keep the explosives, especially in underground mines. They do keep the explosives on premises, even in today's day and age. So the lighthouse is new. Even in today's day and age, they still keep the explosives in the mine itself. So, and it's just little things like that, you know, it's not anyone's fault if it's known or not known, but, you know, if a character hasn't grown up around mining, there is no reason for them to know that. So, and it's just small levels of realism like that. Okay. I'll put in this last label, but then I think that is basically us done for the day. I actually think that's supposed to be 7. Writing should always be on. Okay, so there we go. That we'll just do our last quick save, but otherwise we will continue this on Wednesday night because there is no Grung Gang this week, unfortunately. So thank you to everybody who jumped in for a chat, who is just lurking as a thing just to support the channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who comes out, shows up. Thank you to all my followers and subscribers because I love having you here, and I'm really, really excited to share this world with not just the players, but you guys. Thank you, Tide Runner. Not just you guys, but also like not just the players, but I'm really excited to share this campaign with you come Saturday. So hopefully this week I will be able to drop some teaser trailers about the characters prior. There's just a few little finishing touches I need to make on those. But otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening or night, wherever you are in the world. And I really, really hope that you have a wonderful rest of the day wherever you are. Stay hydrated, get some rest, look after yourself, because it sucks being sick. And I will see you all tomorrow if you want to watch me do some Xbox playthrough of Lost in Random. That's what I've been doing on Tuesdays. So if you want to catch me for that, you can. Otherwise, you can just wait till Wednesday night, should I say, for more of the map build. Otherwise, if you want to chat with me, keep on top of whatever I'm doing, you can follow me on my YouTube channel of the same name, Boomeadow, or my Twitter, which is Boomeadow, which you can find all the links down below. Otherwise, I will see you all later. Have a great day. Bye.